Today I'm going to teach you how to declare and call a method in Java. So right here I have an int number set equal to 5, and then I have a print statement that's printing out the 5, as you can see right here. But we're going to make a method in the same Java class test. We're going to make a method that's going to actually add 5 to this number variable, and then it'll return it back to us. So first we got to start by doing public static, and then this type is going to be an int type of method because it's going to return to us an int. So we put int, and then we're just going to name it change number. And then in these parentheses, this is where we could put parameters. So parameters are data that we input into this method so that it can function that data and then give us back something. So some methods, you won't need to input any parameters, but for this one, we're going to be putting in an integer, which is our number integer. So we're just going to call this integer n. And this n will stand for whatever number we input when we're calling this change number method. So we put our opening and closing braces, and then inside of this method, this is where we can do all the magic. So what we first want to do is get this n value that is being inputted into the method right here, and we want to add 5 to it. So I'm just going to do n plus equals 5. And so this is going to add to that, and then we want to just return this. So we're just going to do return n. And then now this method, change number, will actually add 5 to whatever number we input into the parameters, and then it will return that number. So let's test it out right here. So right now, int number is set equal to 5, and we're doing system.out.print number. But if we were to use this method, we would do system.out.print, and then we could call this method. So we do change number, and then we inside the parameters of this method, we'll add our number variable right here, which is an integer. As you can see right here, this is int n, and then this number, whatever number we could put in here, we could just put a number like that. We could put 7, or we could put this variable number. We just type in the number variable, and then this variable will be put into this n variable right here, and then the function will run through this code and add 5 to the n and then return it back to us just right here. So it'll print out 5 more than this number that we're putting into the parameters. So let's test it out. And boom. You see, so this first system.out.print line is printing out the number, which is 5. And then the second one is printing out 10, which is the change number method. So I hope you guys understood this a little bit. It's kind of hard to get your mind around it at first, but then the more you do it, it'll become second nature. And this stuff is like the most important part of Java, is making methods and using them. This is what it's all about. So I'm going to give you guys a challenge to do. You guys could pause the video, and then I'm first going to give you the instructions, then you could pause the video, and then I'll walk you guys through how to do this challenge. So the instructions are to declare and call a method called determine, so that it takes in an integer through its parameters, and this method should print greater if the integer is greater than 10, and less if the integer is less than 10. So you guys could pause the video right here, try to figure it out yourself. Comment down below if it actually works before I show you the instructions. But if not, that's totally okay. It's kind of hard at first. I'll walk you guys through step by step how to write this method and how to make it work exactly like how these instructions are asking. Okay, so the first step is to write out public static, and then this type of method is a void method. So this means that it doesn't return anything. All it does is does a function, and that's it. So we do void, and then the name of it is determine, and then what we want this method to do is to read in an integer. So we'll just do int n again, and then opening and closing braces, and then now we'll just check if this number is greater than or less than 10. So what we'll do is we'll write an if statement, and then we'll do if n is greater than 10, we want to print out, we'll just go system.out.print and then we'll do, what was it? Greater. And then if it's not greater than 10, that means it's less than 10. So we'll do else, and then do else system.out.println less. And actually, this is a pretty handy tip. You don't even need these opening and closing braces for these if and else statement right here, because if it's only one line below the if and else statement, for that one line, it will automatically know that this is a part of this if statement. But if I were to write another system.out.println, and I don't even need to put anything in it, but all that I'm trying to say is that it will not read this second system.out.println. This will not be a part of this if statement. Same thing goes for the else statement. So if you want to have multiple lines in the if and else statement, same thing goes for for loops and while loops. You need to have these brackets right here showing where it's starting and ending. So let's call this determine method right here. We'll just do determine, and then for this value we'll just put like, I don't know, 7. And then we'll see if 7 is greater than or less than 10. So I'll run this real quick. Oh, oops. Let me fix this. I didn't fix the mistake that I was talking about earlier. Okay. And look, 7 is less than 10. So that's why it returned less than. So let me just walk you guys through it one more time if you're a little bit confused. What it did was I would write the determine method, calling this method right here. I would input the 7. The 7 would go over to this int n right here, and it would be stored in this int n. And then I could use this int n to do this. So I would do if n is greater than 10, system.out.print greater. So it checks to see if this is true. And then if that's not true, if n is not greater than 10, then it's just going to print out less, because there's only two options. N can either be greater than or less than 10. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.